Gotta go. Girl talk.
Boom. Hard in. You gotta be quiet. In fact, we should hush.
Oh,
That's my intro.
nice.
That's what I'm doing. Alex, dude, it
Ryan.
was Toy Fair. How are you feeling?
Yeah. Good. I didn't. I was just watching the news from home, like everybody else. I did not. I was not at the show, but I was just taking it all in, looking at the coverage, looking at the controversy, looking at all the hot takes.
Wait,
just,
controversy?
I don't know.
Hang on. Film
Opinions.
You don't know?
People with opinions.
Opinion? Oh my God. There's too many opinions out there. That's what I'm beginning to realize.
Yeah.
We need to narrow this down.
Maybe
I'm just too positive. Maybe I'm just too positive. Maybe I just like things too much, Alex. I think this is the burden that I have. That even when something I know is not necessarily great, I'm still excited because it just exists.
Yeah.
And I think that might be maybe that's why I'm a shill. Because I just like things.
I just like stuff. Can't help it.
I just like. Let's say a quick howdy to the chat. Oh, I'm Doell, by the way. If you're new and you're listening to this for the first time, tuning in, I'm Doell.
Sometimes people are new, and I'm Alex.
Sometimes people are new. If you are new, Shiny Plastic People is saying, Ryan, we need to recognize 7-inch as a legacy scale for DC. This is an inside thing. Geek Dad Life Discord. I'm going to tell you right now, no, we do not. In fact, I don't even recognize. I am a size queen. Star Wars, I want my short kings 3.75s. All right.
Yep.
For superheroes, I want just a nice 6-inch. It fits nice in my hand. They're good to pose. They look good on the shelf.
But cheated to a little bigger, like the Marvel Legends stuff. Like, it's got.
Well, I just need my.
The portrait's got to read. The hands got to feel substantial.
It's gotta. Well, that, and I want my Doomsdays to be towering over my Superboys. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I need like, just because you could say, let's put it this way. Let's say Superman is 6-inch. I think then everyone else has to go up and down above that, depending on who they are. That's how I'm gonna throw that out.
That's right.
Superman should, right? Let's just do that. And then I also like my 12-inch, my 1/6 scalers. I like those too. I like touching.
See everything really well, nice and big.
Nice and big. You can hug it, right? And I'm still loving my soft vinyl Juggernaut. Still one of my favorite things. I don't even know what scale that is. I just call it soft vinyl.
Yeah,
it's huggable.
It's true.
Right? I'm taking that with me to Japan just on the plane. I'm just going to hold it for 10 hours and then just carry them around.
He might become a sensation. Yeah, my Juggy.
My Juggy. That's it. Right? So let's say hello to the chat before we get into some artwork that we did receive from some wonderful people. So
I mean, this show was contingent on receiving artwork of Amalgam characters, and you guys delivered. So here we are.
Hey,
Brian's
if you want to do this, hey, if you're here if you at any time, if you decide you're just going to send us artwork, we will showcase it in the show. It's like the back page of a comic book. We will showcase it, and we will talk about it, and we will talk about how grateful and thankful we are for your amazing artwork.
We support the arts on this show.
We do. The independent ones and all of it. Let's say hello to Darlaxian, Video Power Gaming, who also wants to give you a nice little, like, Mondo Street Sharks. They look great. So you know. I need you to know, right? Andrew's getting toys. Oh, blam, I'm between 2 live streams. That's okay. You could do whatever you want, man. We all deserve a little bit of love.
Yeah.
Detroit Dave is here. Oh my gosh. This is not a Street Sharks episode, but we'll get into it at the end of the show. Daith is here. Mr. Matt Bush, my contributor, the guy that I don't have a collection without him, Mr. Matt Bush. The professor of rickets, the DJ himself, Bionic Funk, putting her Sweezeway Sweeze over to Gotham City Tonight Playhouse. I like that. Gotham City Tonight Playhouse. I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig that.
We
Charlie
should wear
Squared
bow
is here.
ties.
Yeah, we should. It'd be great. Jack Knight 73 is here. Yes, and I'm also excited for Hush too. I Brandon 3G. Yes, a nice, good, hard and deep Space Niner. Chris Bobinski. He got the shout out before. He gets one again. Shiny Plastic People. Oh my God, dropping spoilers. The Deadhead is here, right? 2000X when? Well, stay tuned to all the news in, stay tuned to Gotham City Tonight. Stay tuned to Toy Anxiety. Stay tuned to Geek Dad Life, Toying Around. Who else do we really like? Between Two Sentinels, Dave Wonder. Who else I'm listing here? Shiny
Mad
Plastic
Hatter
People.
and Johnny Nostalgia.
Oh my God, of course, those two. I love those two. I'm thinking about filming something in San Diego with them for the Jeffries. Get ahead of the game. That's what I'm.
Nice.
I'm very, very tempted. Right? Mr. Johnny Cock is here. Chris Bruno is here as well. A lot of people. Oh, Mr. Geek Dad Other Life.
Yeah.
Here. I'm loving that.
Yeah, the new logo looks great.
It looks great. Yeah, I'm loving it. Chad Stewart, Stephen Lawrence, Cougar McGillicuddy. Am I missing anybody? Tony Johnson, Tovercon, Zach Kinsella is about to get a shout out here shortly. Amazing stuff, right? Justin Mohan is here. Toy Anxiety is here. Please go. Hey, my friends went to Toy Fair over at Toy Anxiety. Dropped a lot of great videos.
Such good coverage, yeah.
That is the best they've ever done. They actually came in prepared. There's barely any motion blur. I think there's only a few moments where Craig is looking at something else while the person's talking about something else, but he catches up. Yeah, it's fine. It's
very respectful of people there doing a job.
Oh my gosh,
varying degrees of familiarity with the product they're there to represent, but they're doing a job. And Toy Anxiety crew, they're very respectful of everyone trying their best.
They did really well. They could have dressed a little nicer, but they looked clean. And to me, that's more important than showing up in a shirt and tie.
It's true. Wearing a dirty suit is worse than wearing a clean t-shirt.
Yeah. They didn't even wear shorts. They were adulted enough to wear pants.
I heard the conversation that it was hot in that Javits Center.
And they still did it.
Yet they stuck with it.
They still did it. I'm so you have no idea. They elevated themselves in such a way that they probably don't even realize that they did it. But they're elevating. They're maturing. It's great to see. It's like they're slowly breaking out from this cocoon of, morning runs at Target. It's great. Ryan Cole is also here. I had to give a shout out to fellow Ryan. So thank you everyone for being here. Toy Geekosaurus is here too, right? Hi, Toy Geekosaurus.
Wow, got a crew going.
We got a crew going. This is super nice. All right, let's get into our first thing. We got artwork. Do you actually want to go first, or do we highlight our wonderful, wonderful people?
Let's let the people who really took this seriously, sent us in some great stuff. Let's give them the floor.
Let's give them the floor first. We got two from the men. I gave a shout out to in the chat, Zach Kinsella. Also, be sure to check out his Instagram and stuff as well.
Follow him on Instagram. Fun. Yeah, really great art.
And you're about to see some more fun artwork. I am so stoked that he did this. Don't look at that. Okay, there we go. Extreme Death Cable. This is awesome.
Hell yeah.
I think the best thing, because the problem is he draws feet so well,
Right. Yeah, the feet are way too good.
But I love
They got to be
pile.
behind those skulls. You have the pile of skulls so you don't have to draw the feet.
I love the rocket launcher also on the shoulder pad. Amazing stuff.
Yes. And the sword, the like Buster sword right in the middle.
Right in the middle. So good. I love the skulls. I love the blood dripping, the nuke going on in the background. I like the one eye that he shows is the glowing eye with the headband with the dude.
And a good color scheme. Like those Deathstroke colors, the that sort of blue and orange goes well with the red X branding.
It does. So I feel like he nailed this one. This one's perfect.
It reminds me, it's very of, did you ever read like when Grant Morrison did like it was like Doom Patrol if it were X-Force? What's it? It's called like, I don't know, Patrol Doom Force or something like that. And it's just
X-Patrol.
X-Patrol. Big parody of like the Rob Liefeld Extreme X-Force books. He could be the leader of that team.
Yeah, this is actually to me one of those perfect mashups, and it's not like it's perfect in the way that it works, but it's two characters that's not the first choices you'd think of. Right?
Yeah, because what they combined Cable with like Niles Calder in the original Amalgam stuff.
Again, that's a weird mashup too, but they did it. And I'm glad they did. He drew one more. He made him a villain because you can't have.
Oh, this is a perfect combo.
This is amazing. Dark Apocalypse, and even the way it's spelled. This is so good. Also, hey, I'm going to give you huge props on this, Zach. This is gorgeous Kirby Crackle in the back.
Yeah, for sure.
Effects work in comics because everyone always looks at characters and stuff like that. I've gotten to this point. I think this happened like somewhere in my mid-20s where I was like, I started to get impressed by like effects work and like people who could draw telephones and car interior of cars. Just that stuff that I know, like, I don't know if I could ever be able to draw that without crying for 2 years.
Yeah, it's like the comic book artists that I love, like, I want to see them like, I love everything they draw. It's like the way they draw a chair or the way they draw like, splashes and water splash. It's like always something really interesting. Like, so I just want to see them draw everything. And this is some really cool Kirby Crackle, like not to be taken for granted. It's tricky to do, and also cool to kind of see like some Kirby influence with Apocalypse, because like I feel like Apocalypse is like a very Kirby style character that Kirby never drew, right?
Right. No, this is so good. Well done, Zach. How do I say this again? Crassy Colonel?
Is he talking about the mom from that
I think
Star
he
Wars,
is, and I'm like, yo, she is. She's totally 80s mom hot.
Dude,
I don't know
she's got
what
that Harleen Quinzel thing going on.
Got the glasses, the updo. She's holding a Jaws game. Come on,
talking about durability.
Yeah, right. Dude, she's us. That's how we talk. She's one of us. It's great. I love it. In fact, that's what I'm going to start doing. Crazy Colonel. Thank you. That's how I'm going to talk about toys from now on. I love the durability of Battle Beasts.
Very durable. The penguin Battle Beast.
Dude.
That's a good looking figure.
This is so much fun.
Dude, Battle Beasts were not like of my time. I was not aware of them when I was the right age, and I would have loved them so much. Like I had like Z-Bots. Z-Bots were cool. Yeah, but like little animal guys,
like wearing armor. Like,
yeah, come on. Like as a kid, cool. That was missing.
Hey, okay, not to go completely off tangent before we go to our next one. But if you listen to me on the Toy Geeks podcast with Jay Glatfelter and Dan Larson, we were talking about the Eternia playset. I used my Eternia playset more for
That's
Battle Beasts than I did anything else.
Dude,
And,
that's because that's like that scales really well.
It's
Because then
scaled
it
really
is
well.
like a massive metropolis for them.
Right. And it was and because you could use the monorail, you could fit multiple figures in the vehicle. So it was like transit, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, our next one is from, I think I'm saying this right, Javier Reyes. He's been in the chat before. I'm probably pronouncing this wrong. He's a freelance artist. I am going to actually, hang on. I'm going to copy and paste something here. Give me a moment. Because let's go. I want to just give this a plug. I'm going to put this also in the chat, in the description below as well on the replay. Be sure to check out his artwork. And you're about to see some more. He whipped this bad boy up.
Whoa, holy cow. Holy cow.
This is so much fun, right?
Yeah, I love it. The Spider Bat or Man, whatever.
Man. It's hang on. So he wrote a really nice message in here too. Big fan of Gotham City tonight and couldn't resist taking a stab at Spider Bat. Wanted to do an action pose, but it ran at a time, and I also included some alternate colors as well. His alter ego could be Bruce Parker or Peter Wayne.
Nice. I love the webbing cape. Like, that's just so cool. Looks so good.
Yeah, let's do just a quick close-up of this. This is, again, you guys, Zach, Javier, you guys killed it on this. You guys understood the assignment. Yeah. Right? This is why I was like, okay, I'm not showing mine if it's not this good. Right? Because you take a look at Zach, because he did all these colorful like his are detailed, man, and this is detailed too. I
love the little spider ring. His his emblem is cool.
It's so good. Just the webbing's in all the right spots as well. I love the belt. It doesn't completely close, but it's there. It still has the pockets.
It's it's a classy look going on here.
This is a very classy look. I'm really hoping that I hope both of you get covers from this.
But this is definitely like this is like Peter Parker has Bruce Wayne's money. But like this is like a rich guy's comic superhero.
And he had to watch his aunt and his uncle die. Right? I think that's how that's interesting. But yeah, and I think that's a cool concept, like Peter Parker but with money. Yeah.
Because like Peter Parker kind of defined by his financial woes. I think I like the red costume the best. Like I love this color scheme. It kind of gives me what was it? Spider-Man Unlimited. So
yep, it gives me a little bit of that. Do you know what now here I am giving art direction. God, I hate my job because I was
we can't turn it off, people.
I can't turn it off. Like where it's black, I'd like to. You know how it's like with Batman, it's either black or it's that blue.
Yeah.
So if they did this red with that blue, right, and then you could still have like the dark webbing on it and stuff. I think that would look really sharp.
We need to see that.
I'm just throwing that out there. Yep, that's what I do. I have no art skills, folks, but I can give you art direction like you wouldn't believe. God, I feel like such a douche. But this is great. This is great.
Yeah.
So just thank you, both of you. Culture Vulture 81. What did I just walk into? We're looking at art that was sent to us.
Yeah.
You know,
it's true. This does look like we're like leaking amalgam images. Like breaking news
from Javier, and I think is it Javier or Javier?
Javier
Reyes? Javier? Xavier? God, I wish he was here in the chat. I hope he corrects us. If he's watching us still on the replay, please phonetically spell out your name in the comments. But no, this is great, and you're right. Like everything that Javier and Zach sent us, it feels like we got leaks on stuff. You guys understood the assignment. I couldn't I'm so happy to be able to showcase this on our show. This is like so good. But yeah,
I had to get in on the fun.
I know. I'll get there.
Do I have to present? Is that the
Javier?
Javier.
Okay, so you're gonna peek behind the curtain here, folks.
Do I click the present button?
You click the present button.
All right, here we go. And
we get some more of this sweet Alex artwork. I love how you just draw, by the way. Like, anyone go check out Fan Plastic 4 on Instagram. You can see his drawings of Rogue, not just like his sculpts, but his drawings, and they're so good.
So
you did it. I was like, there it is. Because I was too thinking like, man, maybe I should do something with Warlord.
So I mean, this is a really well-known character. Like there isn't anyone who doesn't know Thorlord. Certainly any comic book fan worth their salt is familiar with Thorlord. Thorlord, the premise is he's like a World War II era fighter pilot, where his plane goes down above Greenland and goes into a hole in the ground and goes down into the center of the earth, where all of the elements of Norse mythology that inspired Norse mythology have been preserved underneath the surface of the earth. Yeah, this is what would the amalgam be like? Caloremco or something?
Are we doing
LJ Rem?
LJ Rem could be one, or we could do Rembro if they're going to be
Rembro. Okay, Rembro. But yeah, so anyway, Donald Blake, he ends up underneath the surface of the earth, where there's still frost giants and people live like it's the ancient Norse times. And because he's such a brave sort of warrior, they're like, oh, you remind us of this guy Thor from our ancient tales, and so they start calling him Thor. And that's the story of Thorlord.
They gave him the hammer because they felt he was worthy.
Yeah, exactly. But he still has his trusty pistol.
I think that's so good. I love this. Andrew's Gatey's Toys always forgot how skanky Warlord dresses. Charlie Squared, what a hilarious callback. I agree. Chris Bruno, what a tiny loincloth doing the hard work.
He's basically like Warlord is basically like a naked man that like a couple belts fell on.
Yeah, right? Like, yeah, it is actually, right? Zag, dude, this is awesome. Quip, skies out, thighs out.
Yeah, that's his catchphrase. That's what he says in order to
instead of have at
into battle. Yeah.
Topher Valiant Thor. Bionic Funk, from linen to loin, a Thorlord Odyssey. I really like that. That'd be really good.
So I familiarized myself with this Warlord character since last week's show, and those covers go hard.
Yeah,
like I don't know if the interior. I assume the interior books of the books match, but yeah, some of those covers are crazy.
We're gonna have to see if Warlord has like some omnibuses there or something. They've got to, right? I don't know. I actually don't even know.
Yeah.
Hey, Luis Ballesteros is here as well with us. Hello? King Panther, Doel, and Alex. Speaking of Thor, how excited would you be to get a green light to work on a Thor Mondo? Doel, I had a dream that Hasbro allowed you to do Marvel Legends reveal of a Maximum Wolverine. Hey,
dude, that would be amazing.
Hey, King Panther, I've had that same dream. I have had that same dream. There's two dreams that I've had. It's me revealing Rachel Summers, and I've also had the dream of revealing a Maximum Wolverine, I think. But wow. Dude, yeah, tell us, how would you feel about getting to do a Mondo Thor? And would you do 1/6? Would you want to do it as a soft vinyl? What would you do? You got
man. Yeah, I mean,
What would you do?
I feel like he 1/6 he could fit in with the our Motu line. Like you could almost like maybe like make a Thor out of like some of the Motu characters we've already done. Like
Right.
but yeah, no, I mean I think I mean, you know me, like I love Jack Kirby. I'm always gonna like kind of lean towards classic like Kirby or Walt Simonson, but like those proportions kind of pushed would make a really cool Safubi as well, I think.
Yeah, I think not that I was asked how excited I would be. However, I'm going to give my opinion anyway. That's what we do here on the internet. I would love one to go with the Motu. I know you said they're already pretty close, but just seeing the work that even like Tommy Hodges does on, like just any of these muscle bound dudes, you know,
Tommy would crush a Thor. That would be so cool to see.
I know the whole thing was, Alex, how excited would you be if you were agreed that? And I'm like, hey, give it to Tommy. I'm taking this from Alex. I'm giving it to Tommy. But just because I think Tommy would be able, like, just even what Mondo does with their Motu 1/6, in the sense that it's like, here's a way to make multiple variations of different versions of these characters, where it's like, we've got this included, so you can do 1/6 2000X, plus if you want to do classic is in here, plus our own style. And just seeing what Mondo could do with Thor and being like, here's 90 shirtless Thor with the chain connected to the Mew Mew, right? And Mew Mew, I'm bringing that back. And or just even seeing a classic one, and then just seeing what you guys at Mondo, what you would design on your own, is like, here's our take on Thor. And then you know damn well there would be like, here's clean shaven, here's beard. I think there's
like a helmet that's kind of got the mask part. I have a hot take on Thor.
Okay, let's hear it.
I kind of like, one of my favorite Thor looks is the like 90s, like just before the Heroes Reborn, the like green armor with like and he has no like crown, or no helmet, just green armor, like the long blonde hair and like the red cape. I think it's what he's wearing in the Marvel versus DC books.
Yeah,
I thought when I was a kid, that was sort of my like introduction to Thor in comics. I was like, oh, Thor is pretty cool now.
So
he's like a cool 90s guy.
Here's what's okay. So my first, was that your first Thor? Like that's that, because I love the Dan Diodata Thor?
Mike Diodata?
Mike Diodata? Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking like Dan DiDito. I was like mixing up my names there. I was doing my own
amalgamating everything.
Doing creators, right? just how it is. I'm doing I'm doing, what is it? Stan Siegel and Joe Siegel and
Jack
Kirby,
Jack Schuster, Jack Kirby. I mean, Jack Kirby amalgamates with himself.
Yeah,
it's Marvel Jack Kirby and DC Jack Kirby.
Oh, those are two different styles, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. The no, my the first Thor comic I got, I think it was like issue like, I want to say it was like 300. It was this big anniversary issue, and it was like Thor versus Loki on the cover. And I got it for, I think, 75 cents in a bin at a farming tool equipment supply store called PV Mart, okay, so in PV Mart is only, I think they only exist in Alberta, like the prairie provinces. So Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Just last month, they announced they're closing all PV Mart locations because for whatever thing, now we're losing another store. Weirdly, from my childhood, because you could go to PV Mart in the 90s and still get toys from the 80s.
Wait, like,
so that
you had its own toys at the farming
for whatever reason.
Store?
I think it's because they were also getting like surplus stuff.
Mm.
So you would get surplus comics. So they always had like bins of comics. So I would go. That's how I got my like whole run of Guardians of the Galaxy. Right. with like Taserface in the first issue. Yeah. And I got like X Factor. That's how I got to sample like new comics, was through PV Mart. So that was my first Thor comic. And I got like, I read the news, and all I could imagine was walking into the store and seeing that bin. And my parents are like, here's $5, go buck wild. Right. And they're like 50 cents an issue. And I'm like, oh, I am cleaning up today. It was a big deal. And I remember like you could go there like 1992, 91, 92, and they would have like, here's you could still buy Gremlins, and you could still buy like all this stuff from like the early 80s. They would have that there, right? But see, Duke would know, right? Sad to see PV Mart close a fantastic store with all sorts of shit. Yeah, because that's where like we got like you get horse treats there, you get your buckets there. Then they would have just like farming equipment tools, get your baler twine, get your just giant buckets, like feeding troughs. Like
we need more stores that just have everything.
Well, we still kind of have one out here in the prairies. It's called well, they're out here in Canada, I think, in general, because there's one here. I know there's one next to Toy Traders, and it's called Princess Auto, and it's got everything. So regardless, I digest it
sounds like a dream you had.
Yeah, but no, just when we're talking about
store Thor. They had buckets and every comic and 80s toys in the 90s.
It was wild. But it was like, I remember that Thor comic like vivid, like, well, I still have it. Like I still have that comic. I still have a lot of my comics from PV Mart, which is so insane to me.
Wow.
Because there's this weird like nostalgic connection to them. Like they're not worth anything, but there's just this weird nostalgic connection to them. And so now, like, when you're talking about Thor, like to me, those are like my two Thors. Because that one you're talking about, the Mike Deodato one, where he's either got the green armor, like you said, or he's shirtless, and it's like him with Enchantress. And Enchantress has like legs for days. It's so 90s. But it was always that chain at the end of the Mjolnir that was just like, that added that extra badassery to it.
Yeah, it was like Spawn.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I never connected. Oh. Well, it's not ruined for me, but I think, hey,
you don't hate
hot take, Thor did chains better. All right. That's what I'm going to do. All right. Should we get to our main topic?
Yeah, let's do
this. All right. Hush 2 comes out March 26th. That's like 3 Wednesdays from now. We are, I'm going to speak for both of us. We are both very excited men. That is, you know, we're just excited about Hush. And like when Hush first came out, I think it took the comic world definitely by storm. I shouldn't say the world by storm, but definitely the comic world by storm.
Yeah.
Because they really got to get Jim Lee to draw the greatest hits, which I think was of Batman at that time.
It was just perfect Batman. Absolutely perfect.
Perfect. Because we got to see just 2 different colors, shades of costume. It was our first time seeing Hush, the first hint of the return of Jason Todd.
Yeah. All the villains.
All the villains. So we got a little bit of everything.
I've got my... I got these at some point. I bought the comics themselves when they came out, but I got these graphic novels, 2 volumes, and it's cool because you can kind of see like this like tableau of the villains that you're gonna see in each book. That Poison Ivy's so good. Superman. But yeah, and also like this is cliche to say, but like Gotham City is kind of a character in these books, you know, like Jim Lee like puts just as much, like he is excited to draw the world of Batman, not just, you know, you can tell like he's had these images in his head for a very long time, and this was just like you know, letting
his heart pour out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at this shot of like Catwoman swinging on this flagpole, and you've just got like the canyons with gargoyles and like all kinds of greatness. And
you could always see, and that actually, this is a good point here too. Andrew from Gatey's Toys, first time Ivy had green skin like the animated series, and you're going to see a lot of nods to the animated series with like just even some of the shots with blimps, the police blimps, and I don't know.
It's just all the most iconic Batman stuff. Chasing Catwoman on the rooftops, like Batman fighting Superman. Like, it's just
yes.
It was also the debut of the really monstrous Killer Croc, the really reptilian style Killer Croc. Even like greenhouses in the rain. It's just like is animated. It's like the animated series. It's a little bit like the
Batman Returns.
Obviously, the Arkham games came later, but like, look how badass that Killer Croc shot is with the rain hitting the glass. Like,
so good.
It's moody, dynamic.
Also, best boot grips, soles on
Batman. Oh yeah,
like trust me, every detail is there.
Dude, it's ornate.
It is ornate. Exactly. And this
look at and it's like very consistent each time, like the pattern on the bottom, like there's like a little W, I feel like, for like Wayne.
Or I guess because it's upside down.
It's upside down. Right. The debut of this Huntress costume and the Huntress cycle.
That which also made it into Justice League Unlimited. So now it's we're going back, right? So
she never
looked a little bit of all of it. I think that's even the costume she had before that is really good.
I also Huntress has cool looks. I really loved. I remember like this really affected me when this first came out. Was these watercolor flashbacks?
Yeah,
they're just like you can really see. It really highlights Jim Lee's understanding of like form. Like his artwork has a real like strong dimensional quality to it. Like look at the way he's using like shadows to define like their lips in this close up. It's like this stuff was like so instructive to me as like a young art student, aspiring art student. And the way this like little figurine is, it's just like, it's really, really good stuff.
And here's the other thing with that too. Now that you said it, the having the whatchamacallit, like having the watercolor for the flashbacks gives it that cloudiness that makes it think it looks like a memory,
right?
So it's it's just brilliant storytelling, and Jeff Loeb is also on his A game on this as well.
Look, you've even got some like Frank Millerisms, because that Jim Lee is a big Frank Miller fan, or was kind of during this period. So you got a little Sin City action with the rain.
Well, he probably still is a big fan. He probably is, right?
What's I got
out of that run. Do you have a favorite single issue?
No, I mean, I like the whole. I don't know. I mean, I kind of like the issue that came with like Wizard magazine. It was a it was like I think it's this. It was like in between chapters. Also like spoilers for this like if you haven't read this comic, read it. I'll try to be like kind of light on the spoilers, but like but basically this isn't really that much of a spoiler, but it's a Catwoman in the Batcave because she sort of like earned Batman's trust. And they're working together, and great DeLuca effect.
See,
Jim Lee's all over the DeLuca. But and you've got Robin coming in. He's like, what's she doing here? And
starts
they
a fight with her.
It's just it's so cool. Good. It's just like it's good. Like I love the way Jeff Loeb depicts, writes the Catwoman, Selena Kyle, and her relationship with Bruce Wayne. Like their whole like romance, like from Long Halloween into Dark Victory into Catwoman When in Rome into this, is so good. And that's one of my favorite things about Hush is the way it develops the Batman Catwoman relationship.
Yeah, I love that one. And the other relationship that I feel that Jeff Loeb absolutely nailed was the one between Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
Because that is one of my favorite single issues. That's why I was bringing it up. See if you had one.
Oh,
because
right.
For me, I could reread that one at any point in time because it's got that big spread of the Batcave garage with all the different Batmobiles and just the banter that Dick Grayson and Bruce have with each other. It feels really natural, and that whole thing of like you can hear you don't hear Dick Grayson's inner thoughts, but you hear Bruce's, and Bruce just being like, he's the only one that can talk to me like this, right? And talk candidly and call him out and be like, hey, I hear you're hooking up with Catwoman. What's the deal?
Well, and there's this book really explores sort of Batman's grief and the anxiety he has of people who get close to him and are brought into his world end up dead, right? So it's like, the book kind of revolves around him losing a close childhood friend in a very shocking way. And so like this shot always kind of stuck with me. So he's in the Bat Cave and he's doing like forensics, looking at the shot body of his friend, and it's this like hologram, and he has it like rotated upside down, and Nightwing drops down from the ceiling kind of into the hologram, so he kind of lines up with is it Elliot, Thomas Elliot. He kind of lines up with the hologram, and so that's sort of like putting Batman in this headspace of like, well, who am I going to lose next? Will it be Dick? Will it be Tim? I already lost Jason. You see that plays into it.
Who's
trauma.
The caretaker of the Batcave?
Harold, right?
Harold.
But then also like bringing Catwoman in, getting closer than ever, and realizing, oh, like what if I lose Catwoman? Like I care about her the most. Like I couldn't handle that,
right.
and like the scene where he's like almost like kind of goes all the way with the Joker, like almost like he's so, because he thinks that Joker has killed his friend and he's like gonna murder him. He's like not holding back any longer. Batman's like might murder the Joker, and he's just thinking about like everything that the Joker's like taken from him. And you get this great flashback sequence, beautiful watercolor of Batgirl when he's remembering, young Barbara Gordon, pre Oracle, and then obviously like, I mean, like look at this shot of the pose of Barbara, like just like reveling in this life, the reveling in the sort of romantic aspects of this life that they lead, and then all that all being like taken away by the events of the Killing Joke,
right?
Which this also maybe was the first to canonize that, right? Because I mean, like she was Oracle. But I guess Killing Joke was canon to that at that point.
Right.
But
okay. So now,
Jason,
I feel like we did a nice little recap.
Yeah.
But, but also like during that time, like I know Mondo has released 2 Hush posters, one of the villains, one of the heroes. He released prints of those last year for San Diego, I believe.
So cool.
And then even before that, so when Hush came out and those last 2 covers came out, DC also released those as posters. And it's this one there. So good. And another thing that DC said, hey, we could make some serious money off this. And they were like, hey, let's have DC Direct do some toys.
Right.
And the DC Direct toys at that time as well were awesome. I still think they still hold up if you're just looking for like figures to have at your desk. If you're not really a toy photographer, if you're not too picky about your articulation, if you're not a joint queen, I feel like those figures
by today's standards, they're like statues pretty much, but they're super and painted really well, like very cool.
And then I feel like Mafex kind of has come in since then.
Yeah.
And have just been like, hey, we can do what they did, but better. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got, and again, he's doing the twirl just like you saw on the poster.
Yeah. And these I feel like really nail the Jim Lee proportions. You know, it's a little interrupted by he's loaded with articulation, you know, like got the full butterfly joints. You know, he can really he's an acrobat, right? So he can really he's got, you know, drop down hips, like, you know, the goal, like as you can see if you look through these books, it's like the goal, like Jim Lee twists these characters up, like they're always like dramatically flying through the air and you know, in all kinds of like poses, and so these figures really achieve all that. But it also just like the anatomy and the proportions, I feel like do a really nice job. And it's that, you know, the Jim Lee style face is deceptively difficult to do, and I think they nailed it.
I think so too. Yeah, and I'm with Andrew's Gaze Toys here. The Mafex figures are amazing. Can't wait for Robin and Babs. I did pre-order the Robin, and I have a Batman on pre-order as well. Those are the only two I need. So I say, and all of a sudden I'll find Catwoman and Huntress, and then that'll be it. It'll be game over. I will.
And there's Scarecrow and Riddler, and
there's Jim Lee Superman that has the ivy and stuff, and maybe they'll make a Lois Lane. Then I'll be like on a different kind of high. Let me tell you. So that was back then. That was what, 15? When did she come out? Oh God,
2002.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So it has been 20 years. I can't believe it's been 20 some years.
Yeah.
That's gross. I'm not a.
It's a long time for a sequel.
Unless you're Ghostbusters or like anything else, really.
Sure.
So it's been like 20 some years. We're getting this, and the whole landscape of DC has changed to the point where they're on their second reboot of the entire universe since. But even though this reboot, the most recent Batman, feels like they're paying attention to what happened before New 52. So it's almost like they're taking the best parts of New 52 and applying it as canon from the canon before. Does that sound right?
Too confusing. I thought that the absolute Batman was like the Batman right now. I didn't even know they're still doing like regular Batman comics.
They're still doing regular Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman comics. It's all great, and I love it. Cool. However, Batman has completely changed. Tim Drake is kind of like he's in the Deanna Troy? No, Donna Troy. He's on the Donna Troy limbo train. I feel like he's become that lost middle sidekick, right? Where they don't know what to really do with him.
What do we do with
Speedy's kind of in that same, or who's the one?
Although
the Green Arrow after, I have his toy. The Green Arrow that was after Ollie in the 90s. Oh my God.
You mean like Arsenal?
Not Arsenal. Oh my God.
Connor. And was that like his son? Connor or something?
To be his son? Yeah, it was weird. Anyways.
Yeah, he had a cool look.
He had a great look with even the tie-up domino mask.
The shaved head, right?
Yeah, he looked great. The Connor Hawk. See, someone people know. This is why I need a chat here. I can't just make videos and post them. I need to chat here. The Connor Hogg, like I feel like there's a group of those like 90s characters or even from before that have just fallen in this weird limbo. Tim Drake's kind of in there. So how big of a role Tim Drake will play in this? Maybe this is where they kill him off again.
But here's the thing, like Tim Drake, he's the computer whiz. He's the techie guy. He's the Donatello of the Robins. Like the Robins, you've got obviously Jason is the Raphael, Tim's the Donatello. I would say that I don't know. I mean, like, is Damien like Leonardo?
Yes,
and
he is.
Dick Grayson is Michelangelo. I think that all tracks.
I think it all tracks to me too. I was going to say the exact same thing. That when you started doing it, I was like, Damien's the Leonardo. Like, there's just no way around
do that book.
But that's the thing. We've got Damien now. We've got Damien and Jason Todd is fully returned. So Barbara Gordon is out of the chair.
Right.
Even though she still plays the Oracle role sometimes, she can also go out on the field. Huntress has also kind of been in a weird limbo, so I don't know how big of a role she'll play. Just trying to think of like even villain, like Harley has a completely different role. She's no longer with the Joker.
Well, so have they disclosed? Have they said that this Hush sequel is like in the comic canon? Like it is.
I don't know.
Everything is like up to date. So because like
I just assumed. I don't know why they would go back and not have Damien in there now.
Yeah.
Right. And I think with the promo things too, you see Red Hood. So
yes, Red Hood's definitely in the mix, but you know, they introduce because I want a sequel to this. I want a sequel to this world that they were playing in. Like, because it's like there's a definite to me, like there's a definite through line from Batman Year One into The Long Halloween into all the Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale Batman books into Hush. And Hush, obviously there's like from Dark Victory, which was the sequel to Long Halloween, which is sort of about like that's when Dick Grayson like first becomes Robin. So it's very early days. So it leaps from that to like modern, at the time, modern Batman stuff. And like I showed, it's catching up with like what happened to Barbara Gordon and Jason Todd. Like all that stuff has happened. It brings in characters like Harold and but like it's still like kind of, you can treat it as like part of that timeline, right? I kind of want like keep going with that timeline. Like you can introduce like, again, you can have like a time jump where it's like, yeah, Damien happened in this world and like now he's hanging out and like, we do whatever pertinent details you need to know about Damien, like we'll quickly recap them or whatever. Like, but I would prefer that method.
Yeah. Well, again, I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah.
When all this stuff drops. And here's the other thing, because I mean, people do like it when we talk about toys. Let's talk about toys. How long do you think we're going to have to wait for our first Hush 2 figure? Like I assume when Mofex will get to them eventually. I think they're probably going to try and finish Hush 1.
Yeah.
Before they go on to Hush 2. But do you think this is something Mattel would probably want to dive into right off the bat next year? Or do you think Todd's going to try to get it out before?
No, I don't think.
Well, it's Batman. It's Batman.
Yeah. Batman. Yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, I think it's a good question because it was like because obviously the book's coming out now, so they've had enough kind of lead time. But I don't know how it all works. I don't know like at what point they have to like have their products finished. Like if like whatever they want to sell for next year has to be like finished and done by the end of this year. Like I don't like when their contract actually kind of, because there's always like lead time built in, right? So like,
Right.
Yeah, so I don't. I mean, but yeah, I mean, he and Jim Lee obviously are are tight, and maybe they have been looking at the designs for this comic for a while, and maybe figures are in the works. That would certainly be like a really cool good last
Send off.
send off the awesome Jim Lee Batman line, but yeah, I mean, I also I kind of it'd be cool if Mattel did that too. Like, I don't know, I think I feel like Jim Lee designs are hard to translate. It's not like an easy, and I would want these figures to really look like Jim Lee art. Like I'd want like
Right.
accurate. I don't want just like the costumes look right. Like I want to look like Jim Lee's art, so whoever, if somebody makes them, that's what I would want out of it.
Right.
And Mafex, like I said, Mafex is close, but it's also like it's really inconsistent from character to character. It's like Nightwing is I think Nightwing is the best, but the other ones have like really not, in my opinion, like lived up to matching the Jim Lee style. So,
well, I think every photo I've seen of the Batman from Mafex, they've always looked good. So
it's like
I'm taking a
I think if they did a Batman 2.0 and kind of revised some things, I think they could get it there for sure. But that was like the first one they did, right? So it's like it's not quite the thing for me. For me personally,
I'm mostly just buying those figures too, so that I can have them sit at the ramen shop from Naruto.
Yeah, that's gonna be sick.
That's really all I want. that has now become my dream Batman display. Batman in Japan. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all I want.
I mean, Batman Blade Runner is like, that's a good mix. It's a good mixture.
It is. It is a good.
Get some neon. Get some neon. Some rain.
Hey, because you know how it's like, when Batman Begins starts and we see Bruce wearing the Batman Beyond costume, and he's kind of like, yo, I'm retiring because my heart, goddamn, this sucks. I would love to have them go. I know we just got the Caped Crusader, which I love for what it is. I would still like to see Batman in that Gotham, in that transitional era of like old Gotham to Neo Gotham, and old man Bruce, like how would you like Batman Batman final year, and it's just his last year.
Yeah, kind of like Dark Knight Returns, but in the Batman Beyond world. That's very cool, and I feel like the team that did Batman Beyond, which was an awesome show, but I feel like they probably were what they wanted to do clearly with that show, like, was pretty heavily constrained by like being a show for kids on a kids network. And so I'd kind of like to see like what those guys would do with the, limitations off, kind of like what they did with Cape Crusader. Like what, was it Bruce Timm, Glenn Murakami, Shane Glines, like, get the team back. What would you do with Batman Beyond's world if you didn't have to like play by Kids WB rules?
and on top, again, it's Bruce Wayne's last. I know we're totally off tangent. I don't care. This is fun. Because there are some villains that have returned in Batman Beyond, right? We saw Bane, as an addict in a chair. We saw, but we also know
we saw Nana Harley.
Nana Harley. So like, again, I could see, like, it'd be interesting to see a Batman on his last year in that Batman Beyond tech, a whole different a Gotham that's transitioning and moving past him,
Yeah.
But also it's like now what villains are like, I'm done. I am too old for this shit. I am done. And I'd love to see like
Yeah.
Batman take on some villains maybe we've never seen before. Because I could totally imagine the Riddler just being like, or what if they gave like the Riddler dementia? Like just
Yeah,
something like because that's a cruel fate for someone who thinks he's the smartest man.
for
Uh,
sure. Or you take a
you know,
character like I don't know, like ventriloquist or Mad Hatter, and like you give them like a major glow up where they're just like they're more it's like a new version of them that's like more menacing and formidable than like anything Batman's like faced before. It's like they just like learn some new tricks or like something happens and they're like,
well, you gotta remember
or it's like
technology
it's
is
a
getting
different person just using a different, just kind of using the moniker, and it's, but that could be fun. Scarecrow, I
well,
mean, we seeing like the resolution of like what's the last battle with Scarecrow look like, he looked so
what
terrifying in the New Adventures of Batman. Like, was there even a third evolution of Scarecrow that was really scary?
I would love, yes, I hope so. I would love to see, I would love that. But going back to even like Mad Hatter, not Mad Hatter reviews, but Mad Hatter from
Yeah,
Gotham review. I would love to see what they could do with him because the technology gets better too.
yeah, exactly.
Right? Like I think
So
that's where, because he's such a techie character. Uh,
right,
like
yeah. I mean, somebody
oof,
that
right? Mr. Freeze,
yeah. That was yeah. That was. I mean, they did
exactly.
a few villains, but and then also just like Batman Beyond did not touch, like they could get closure on like Nightwing and
Yep.
Catwoman. Like, what happened there? Like, we do not know the end of the story with Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson. Like, we know,
Yep.
Barbara Gordon became the commissioner, but like we don't know much
And what
beyond that.
point did she quit? And did she quit at Return of the Joker? Did she
I
like,
think
was it that point with
that was the
him?
idea. Yeah,
Yeah, and
I
that's where
think
she was like, I gotta start playing by the book.
well, I think Batman was just like, no more. Like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing partners anymore. Like, and yeah, I think that for Barbara, it was like, yeah, it's time to hang up the capes. The world is a much more serious place. I got to find a different way, and then she went into followed her father, and into the
Right.
law enforcement side. But yeah, we don't know what happened with Nightwing at all.
Right.
The
Don't forget about
splicers.
splicers. That's from Dorlaxian.
Yeah, what was like early days of splicing, like when they hadn't quite gotten it right. Like, who was the first splicer villain? It's like
Right. Yeah, like
some kind of,
I think there's a lot there. This is our
yeah.
pitch, by the way. If anyone at Warner Brothers is listening, this is
I think it's
this
a
is our
cool
pitch.
idea. It's funny. I had a thought that for Hush 2 that there could be like a time jump in the book, because I would love to see Jim Lee, Jim Lee's take on like a future Batman. Like, let
Right.
Loeb and Lee like create the ending for their character. Be like, okay, this storyline, this version of Batman, all of these like seeds that were planted, like, how does that all end? What is Jim Lee's 60-year-old Bruce Wayne doing it for the last time? What does that look like? What does his futuristic Gotham look like? Either they do a Hush 3 that's set in that, but I don't think, given that it was 20 years between Hush 1 and Hush 2, like, I feel like this is the chance to like, this is like the last chance to see, all this stuff. And I would just love, even if it's just like a quick, even if it's a dream sequence, I would love to see Jim Lee's take on like a Batman Beyond style Neo Gotham. Like, that would be cool.
I would I am totally down for all of that, but if they do, I don't want them to call it Hush 3. I just want it to be called Hush the Finale.
Oh, nice.
And that's
or would it be like HU3H?
HU3H.
Continue with like
like
the new
thing. Yeah,
the numerics
or
that like don't make any sense. They don't look enough like the
Finale
letter.
3. Yeah, it
Yeah,
could just be
Finale 3.
like just something. Yeah, I could.
That
I
feels
could
like
totally
that could almost be like the villain Batman fights finale. is
Yeah.
the
Oh
villain's
my
name.
god. Well, you can have that one for free, Jeff Loeb, unless it takes off. Then Alex needs some credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing else to really bring up outside of like, I'm super excited. I'm very excited to see just Jim Lee still has it, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Because they released some pages for first of all, there's a teaser trailer if you haven't seen it, chat, that has like animation. Like they're animating Jim Lee Batman and Jim Lee Hush, and like, man, I mean, again, like Jim Lee's style would be so awesome to see brought to life in animation. I was so disappointed when they did the like straight to. So I don't know why the like Warner Home animation stuff, like they adapt these comic stories with like amazing comic book artist styles, and they do them in a completely different style that isn't even reminiscent of like Tim Sale or Frank Quitely or Jim Lee. Like Jim Lee in particular, it's like, man, if you're gonna do a Hush animated movie, which I believe they've done, right? I haven't seen it, but it's like, but if that was Jim Lee's art animated, I would be so excited. Like, you could play that in theaters.
I will give them DC Animation credit for this one though. Final Frontier was amazing.
Yeah, that was a little bit closer to Darwin Cook. Maybe not. Maybe I'm misremembering. At least the colors kind of felt reminiscent.
It was close. I felt it was closer to his style, right? Like even if they
not
did,
enough,
I would love.
Not enough.
I would love a Silver Age Green Lantern animated movie done in the style of Doc Shaner.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Cartoon show. Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Like we were looking at some of the logos for the upcoming DC cartoons in the post James Gunn era and or current James Gunn era, and yeah, I think a Darwin Cook Silver Age Green Lantern, Hal Jordan test pilot by day, intergalactic space knight by night. I think that could be cool.
Yeah, no, I love it. I gotta figure out how to connect to somebody at Warner Brothers just so I can be like, hey, you're doing Elseworld stuff. Let's do a feature animated Batman Hush movie in the style of Jim Lee. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Maybe for Hush too. I mean, this teaser was like very promising. It's like, man, this stuff looks great when it's moving. Like, you know, I mean, Jim Lee, he does it for you. He's got the like, you know, the DeLuca effect. He's animating his own drawings on the page. I grabbed
I can never I would just Zack Snyder it. I would say I'm directing it, but really all I'm doing is copying everything frame for frame.
Like, look at this. I probably showed this before on here, but look at this amazing panel where Catwoman's chasing Harley Quinn and she's like running. They're both like running up the scaffolding. Like that's animation. They're your keyframes.
That's so good.
Just slap some in betweens on there, but yeah, his Harley Quinn. I love the way he draws. This was like the first time I thought Harley Quinn looked really good in the comic book. He like really.
You don't like Terry Dotson's work?
Oh, the Terry. Yeah, no, that obviously is great. I forgot that came before. I mean, it's like probably around this time, but I don't know, something about the way like the way he like drew the ears and stuff, like you could kind of like feel like you could understand what the like costume material was made out of, and just like I don't know, she has like she has that kind of like Bruce Timm kind of smile, but it's obviously
Yep.
Jim Lee. Yeah, good stuff.
Nope, nailed it. No, he's
Good.
it's great.
Stuff.
I gotta try to find that. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna try and find that Mofex figure.
Oh, the Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
That was my most disappointed. I do not like that figure.
really. Yeah, because if I come across the Catwoman, I'm gonna get it too.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's like the Catwoman and the Harley Quinn. They just like they look like a completely different style. Like it doesn't. There's nothing about it that says, other than like that they're the right costumes for that era. There's nothing about them that says Jim Lee Hush to me.
Oh, well, that's a bummer.
That the DC Direct Harley Quinn was really good back in the day.
Yep. So
again, it's basically a statue, but like I felt like they nailed the look and everything.
For what those were at that time, they are outstanding. I still think they hold up. If you just want something to like line up on a shelf, just in their like in package poses, I think they nailed it.
Yeah, for sure.
They did so good. I only had 2 of them. I had Scarecrow and I had the Riddler. So the only 2 I had.
So good. So good. Yeah. That's I was collecting the Tim Sale Batman the Long Halloween figures, which were so good. But I like really wanted a Riddler to go with them, because it's like you're getting all the main villains, but it needed but so I almost bought that Hush Riddler, just kind of like stand him in with there, but it didn't really fit anyway.
I remember those figures too, and I was so close to like starting that collection by getting the Tim Sale Catwoman.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Gorgeous mask.
Those figures are so good. That Mad Hatter is like still one of the best.
Johnny Cock, $5. Brewer, stop making sense. I'm being set up for disappointment if they don't make it.
Oh, I wonder what that. Oh, the cartoon or
the cartoon.
I don't know. Yeah, no, that'd be sick.
Well, we're gonna make it happen. It's gonna be our fault.
Oh, one last thing that I noticed in some of the teaser art, because like one character who does not appear, like Hush does a good job, crams in most of the villains into this, but there's a few notable omissions. Mad Hatter isn't in here. He was in the Long Halloween, but Penguin also is nowhere to be found in these books. And Penguin is a character that like Jeff Loeb doesn't really like use that much. Like it's like Long Halloween, Dark Victory. He shows up, but he's not part of he doesn't get any lines. He's not really like integral.
He's not a major player.
And Jim Lee, it's like, I feel like I mean, I'm sure he's drawn Penguin, but like there's not a lot of it out. Not a lot, like because he isn't in this at all. Hush 2, I'm hoping we get to see some Jim Lee Penguin action, especially in light of how good the Colin Farrell Penguin show is, how close that world is to the Godfather part of Batman that Jeff Loeb created. So hopefully we get to, hopefully that's like, front of mind for them, and we'll finally get to see. I saw in like one of the preview images, like there's like a little picture of the Penguin with the other Hush villains, which looks promising. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I know he did a cover for Batman, like Penguin One Bad Day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it seems familiar. Yeah,
I know he did one for that. All right, we're gonna start calming down here because I'm really hungry. But thank you everyone for hanging out with us and everything tonight, because I love these kind of like talks where we can just talk about Batman and the comics, what's coming up and what isn't and should be.
Yeah.
Right. So, but before we go, I want to make sure you get a chance to plug this new soft vinyl figure, first in the line, I do believe.
Yes.
Over at mondoshop.com. People were talking about this earlier in the chat. Take us through this Jossum figure.
Yeah, the soft vinyl Ripster. This, I am not exaggerating, and I had nothing to do with this figure, so I feel like perfectly fine saying this is a work of art. This figure is a masterpiece from Brandon Gash, who sculpted him, and Mark Bristow, who painted him. Like, the details on this thing are incredible. Like, go on our site, like zoom in on all these pics. Like, it is like Brandon, he throws so much into his figures. Like, he's a master, he's a whiz. And like you can see every like pore on the tongue, every like ridge in every tooth, every vein, and every bit of wrinkle in his pants. Like, it's like, this is like what sculpting is all about. Like, this is what action figure sculpting is all about. Like, it's beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. And that ripped up street. So like that shot of the fin, you get the ripped up street with the fin carving through, like from the show, and like the amount of like care, and like, so that's not like a set piece for the photo. Like, that's the thing you get. That Brandon made that. He made all that rubble. He like, it's just like, it is such a labor of love. I mean, like the leather on his shoes, like the wrinkles of the leather on his shoes is different from the wrinkles on the denim of his pants. It's just like I just geek out about that stuff. And then it's one thing to pack all those details into the sculpt, but then to know how to bring it out in the paint, which Mark Bristow has done beautifully here. Like, just all the subtle sort of like shading around where it translates from like blue to the lighter color, like on the face. Like, it looks so good. And all of the like the Mark never just uses, one shade of blue. Like, he mixes together a color that is unlike anything you've ever seen before, that just has this kind of like otherworldly quality to it. And then obviously like the gums and the teeth are just like so well rendered. I love this figure. Like, it is just like, it's just like a feast for the eyes. And I just really, I have to gush when I see so much hard work put into an object like this. That, I mean, the meter, like it really kind of like it elevates it. So like, it's like, I mean, granted, like it's a Sofubi and it comes at a premium price point, but like, all the artists involved, James Groman, it's a James Groman design. That's the bent up parking meter with the shark tooth still stuck in it. Like, those are the kind of brilliant ideas he comes to the table with. And like, you get two swappable heads for a mouth open, mouth closed. Like, I don't know. It's just like, this is just like a special thing to me.
Hey, now that you said, like, because James Gorman, not to go off
topic
Groman, here, because I want him in the next 5 years. I want him to do at least one Power Ranger.
Oh yeah,
right, or a Power Ranger villain. Like, his Lord Zed would probably be out of control. Anyway,
yeah, or a Zord. I gotta also real quick. So at Toy Fair, that NECA Krang Metaluna mutant that I believe was designed by James Groman, like, that thing is a work of art. That thing is absolutely beautiful. Like, that is like, that I cannot wait.
It is insane, and it's beautiful. Like, just all the different colors they decided to go with.
And they said there might be like multiple color variants, and like, I just love the 3D glasses.
It's well, I like just all the different robot parts too. Like, it's so
good. Well, it's like combining, like, what's that? I can't remember the name of the movie, but it's like the movie with like the mutant android. And it's like a gorilla body with like a robot head.
I know I hear it, like, I see it in my head. I couldn't name it.
So using that as the android body, but then making Krang the like Metaluna mutant from is it Forbidden? No, not Forbidden Planet. This Island Earth.
That's it. Yep.
So good.
It's so good. Again, here's that ripple. For anyone that plays Marvel Rivals, you know that he's healing right now.
Ah, yes.
All right, Jeff the Shark.
Some serious gill action.
These are so good.
Yeah, and it's big. It's 10 inches. I think that I didn't get a chance to look at it today, but I think on Mondo's Instagram, there's a video in like their stories. There's a video of Hector showing off like the size of it. So yeah, it's definitely it's bigger than what you're used to with the classic Street Sharks figures.
5 pounds.
Now that's Jossum. That's a lot of shark.
That's a lot of shark. These will look great with your turtles as well, by the way. So if you're already collecting the turtle line, these will probably blend in perfectly with it.
He and Ray Fillet teaming up as the aquatic guys. Like,
all right. So here's my next question. When are you guys doing Cowboys of Moo Mesa?
Oh, that'd be cool. So just and also like another shout out to Brandon just to show his range. So he sculpted all the Nacelle Moo Mesa figures. And those are very like animation accurate. So it's like, he can do that. He can do the super detailed stuff. Like, so yeah, I bet he could. I bet he's got,
he's got him in his head already.
He's got an idea of where he'd go with a Moo Mesa Sofubi.
I would get one of those in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get him on some turtle stuff too. I'd like to see not turtles. Sorry. Power Rangers. I think that was the one thing, because again, hey, let's do our quick hot takes from Toy Fair.
All right. Yeah.
Here's my quick hot take about Power Rangers and with Playmates. I'm going to lower this. By the way, how long do people have to order this?
Oh, I think it's just it's an exclusive to our site, which is how we've been doing like the TMNT Sofubi. So yeah, I think there's no time limit, but there is a time limit on Wolverine, and it is running out. Like if you've been on the fence, but you think maybe you kind of do want him, but you're waiting till the last minute. Friday. Yeah, I mean you've got basically 1 day left to order him, so do not delay.
Yeah, act now.
Yeah, because he comes with a lot of stuff that I mean, if nothing else, like if you can maybe sell some of those parts if you decide you want to recoup some of the money later, like because it's that this is the chance to get the Sentinel base, the alternate torso, like all those alternate heads, like I wouldn't if you're feeling like it at all,
right?
I wouldn't sleep on it.
Topher Khan grabbed it. The rest of you should too.
Oh, nice. Thanks, man.
Right? Awesome. Okay. Very important stuff. Links are down below for both of those as well in the description. All right. Before we leave, this is how we're sending it off. These are going to be our quick hot takes from
Toy Fair.
I think this probably still could be done with Power Rangers and Playmates. I would love nothing more than to see it. It's not a complaint that I'm not going to complain about the toys they're bringing out. I want to actually see a good look at them first before I sit there and go, I don't like these. Power Rangers was never my thing to begin with. Like I don't think I have any Power Ranger figures, come to think of it at all. Though I did dress up as the Black Ranger when all my friends and we all did the Power Rangers for Halloween, and it was amazing.
Nice.
And I didn't even care about Power Rangers till I went for my first trip in Japan. And that's when I was like, oh, I get it now. This is awesome.
The Japanese Power Rangers, the like Kyoru Sentai Ju Ranger, like is very cool. It's much different from what we got in the States.
Yeah, and so I'm totally down for that. I love Black. I'm always surprised I never got the Lightning Collection Black Ranger. Mastodon, right? Whether it was Zach or Adam, doesn't matter. I'm surprised I didn't get any of them. Also, those Mezco, that Mezco 5-pack of the Rangers.
That, like, if you're a Power Rangers fan, that's taken care of. Like, cause like the unmasked heads look perfect.
They look so good. They look so good. I was surprised because I just blew them off because I was like, I'm not collecting Mezco. Then someone posted them that they got them in the YHS Discord, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, these are so good.
And you get all of them for like all 5 for like $400. Like,
yeah, just
but
ridiculous.
Here's the stumbling block for me though, is, you know, if you're gonna go with cloth suits, make it shiny, like on the show, like on the show, like they have very shiny spandex suits, like in like metallic paint doesn't really do that.
Right.
I mean, I guess you could find the right metallic. No one has, right. But I feel like it's got to be shiny to really give you that like nostalgic, like, those are the Power Rangers I remember.
Yeah.
That's season 1 Kyoru Sentai Zoo Ranger.
Now Dave Story saying light the bush signal. Dole needs a black ranger. Hey, Matt Bush got me the collection of the Happy Meal toys where it came with the Power Rangers and the vehicles
from the movie.
From the movie, they're awesome.
Yeah.
So Matt Bush already delivered. He did. He did great. But no. So what I'm going with this is, I still feel like they could get to this at some point if they wanted to, because they did that 80s style figure of the last Ronin, which I got because it looks like the old 80s toys, but it's a new figure done in that style.
Yeah.
I would love nothing more if they were like, hey, Varner Studios, you want to draw us up some Power Rangers? I would love some Power Rangers that look like turtle figures.
Yeah.
From the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, totally. And the kind of like crouched and bigger heads.
Yeah, like
and all the monsters. Like, yeah, I feel like nowadays what you would get do you follow DeFoot on Instagram?
No, but I feel like I should be.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, maybe you've seen it, maybe you do, like, so I think it's a couple different artists. They do Playmates Ninja Turtles. They understand the language of that line so well. Like they've created they've created like the rest of Bebop and Rocksteady's gang. They've done like Ninja Turtles as X-Men. They've done like all, and it is all perfect Playmates aesthetic. Like, just all the creativity, the fun, the grossness, the cartooniness, like they nail it. And so get those guys, like Playmates, like, yeah, yes, the Granitor or whatever, done in that Playmate style to go with your Trag. Like if Playmates could just like Mattel needs to get Toy Otter, Playmates, you need to get these guys, or if it is just one guy, just get DeFoot to make your to make modern retro style Playmates figures. Doing like him doing Power Rangers, like, would be phenomenal. I
like that they're doing an Eastman and Laird style figures.
Yes.
In that old classic style. You're right. Look at this. And Jara?
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, and they're so prolific. Like, they're just like, they always have like new characters, new figures. Like, yeah, Belly Bomb.
These are
and look at that Hulk turtle in the background. They do like all these Marvel mashups, like, Iron Man as a turtle. Yeah.
The
Super
Iron Man
cool.
ones.
I don't know if it's the same. There was like a couple people doing like that sort of thing for a while. And somebody did like a Beetlejuice turtle. It was really cool.
I am all for this. Give me more. Oh my gosh, he does like big figs too. Like,
yeah,
that's insane. Okay. Anyways, yes, get him on Power Rangers or Playmates, please.
And just for turtles, like, they should, if they're thinking of doing more turtle retro stuff, like, have him on. If these companies are really committed about like reaching out to the like adult collector, like, make some of these moves, like if you really are thinking about like dabbling with a higher price point, or just like going to a new audience, like it's got to be done right.
Yep, I agree. But yeah, that's my hot take. Is that I guess it's not really a hot take. I would like to see those. That's all.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
But you had a hot take where everyone else had a hot take. Let's hear your
yeah.
hot
I mean,
take.
I got no one has weighed in on the NECA movie What If Bebop and Rocksteady. Yeah, I can't believe it's radio silence on such a kind of
shocking
big thing. So I gotta I'll break the silence. I'll weigh in on these guys. I've been like everyone else. I remember them teasing this. It's what I've been wanting from the line. I've been really looking forward to these. I think everyone is right. Like all opinions are valid here. I had a similar reaction to initially seeing them, of like, oh, that's not what I was picturing. It was not what I was expecting NECA to do. But the more I look at them, like they've really grown on me very quickly, because I think that if they were done in a movie, it would not be what you were expecting. Like that's how movies used to be. Like it's like the Jim Henson Turtles weren't exactly what you were expecting. Shredder is a completely different design than he was in the comics and the cartoon. Like Toka and Raza are whole new characters. So I think part of it is like, oh yeah, somebody like it's a little different than what you could just imagine it being, which is cool. It's like fun to get surprises like that. My other thing that I really like about them is I feel like you have to imagine them how they would be shown in the movie, like wide angle lens, low, so they look really huge, garish lighting, haze, and I think that they would be appropriately nightmare fuel. Like I'm looking at these guys like, oh, this would probably freak me out as like a 6-year-old watching this. Like, even though I love those characters from the cartoon and stuff, it's like seeing this, it's like, I could picture these being that kind of like that weird sort of like I can also picture like how they would move as animatronics. Like I can picture like Bebop's ears, how they would like move and twitch, and like Rocksteady, how it was like, the front of his nose, mouth would like move up and down.
Or even just how his eyes moves. I can see how Rocksteady's like how he blinks and stuff. Like I can see it.
And even in their costumes and stuff, like it reminds me of something from like Howard the Duck, like the Howard the Duck movie, or like Coneheads, or have you ever seen the movie Freaked with like Alex Winter from Bill and Ted? He I believe like wrote and directed a movie that is essentially like a Ninja Turtles movie. He plays like, it's about like an actor who like gets kidnapped by a mad scientist who's like kidnapped a bunch of people and like mutated them with different things. So it's like and he gets like mutated into this like half monster, half man thing. And the whole thing was like an excuse to do like basically like Jim Henson Creature Shop animatronics, Playmates Ninja Turtle style monsters.
This could also fit into like the Toxic Crusaders.
It's basically like a Toxic Crusaders movie. There's and like Keanu Reeves plays like a cowboy, like a half man, half cow, and you'd never know it was him because he's just buried under all that makeup. It's hilarious.
Cow looks good.
It's got that kind of like that like airplane, like Zucker Brothers, like a joke a second strategy, and I highly recommend that movie. But by the end, there's like, they really go crazy with the like animatronic monsters, and I feel like this Bebop and Rocksteady, like picturing how they would be done in the movie and the style, like I also feel like maybe like NECA, maybe there's like it's like a texture thing if they add some of that kind of like wetness that you would see on like animatronics and like, you know, I don't know, like I looking at these figures through that lens, thinking of how like Toka and Razor were sort of like depicted in the movie, it's like, okay, yeah, I can see the vision now.
I'm just staring at it. I think this looks so good. It's not streaming anywhere either. I had to check that too.
Oh, Freaked isn't streaming anywhere?
No, not in Canada anyway.
I'm sure people in the chat must know of this movie. It's a hoot.
Charlie Squared seems to.
Yeah.
Right? It's called classic. All right. Cool. Dude.
There's one joke in that is, I won't say, you have to know the context, but it's like one of it's like one of my favorite jokes in movies.
So that's our homework. We got to find this movie and watch it. No, this is awesome. Okay, dude, I think this is where we're going to settle in. This is it. We're done.
Yeah. We've set our piece.
We set our piece. You got our hot takes. You got art at the beginning of the show. Again, tonightgotham@gmail.com. If you ever want to send us art that you want us to showcase on the show, whether it's an amalgam, if you want to do Batman art, if you want to draw a Power Ranger of Moon Mesa, go for it. Do it. We're here for it. Otherwise, you'll see us next week here on Wednesday here at Gotham City Tonight. See me on Tuesdays. Link below. Alice's comic also linked below as well. So let's see if I think maybe next week we might take a week off. I don't know. We're going to see how we're feeling.
Yeah.
There's been a lot going on lately, but we'll see what happens. So with that said, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for everyone who got this far on the replay. And we will see you next week. All right. Have a great night, everyone.